Son of a bitch. Well, it's every time I flip the phone around to show the scenery, then the button goes away for me to flip it back, right? But here, another beautiful day in the Kootenays. As you can see, coldest one of the year so far. Yeah, a little bit of ice on the river. Was it last week I was out and the swans were out, and this beaver went after my dog. Well, it wasn't really my dog. It's funny because I've been putting it out there, telling the Lord that, hey, I need a puppy because my other dog's getting older. Hey, Seven, say hi. And I need a puppy, and I wanted a puppy so Seven could help train it, because I don't need a gate on my property. So I just train him to stay in the yard and not bug people that come by or walk by. So anyways, I get out of the hospital, and a little while later, this weirdo, which I think, hey Tool, show everybody your blue eyes. But I think she's like an Australian Shepherd cross. And I did find the owners, because she just kept coming back. Like, she just kept coming back and back, and the owner's about 5 miles up the road. So yeah, so she came at the call and adopted me, I guess. So she's good with my disabled son, so that's all I care about. Any animal I have has to be good with him, otherwise they're gone. Yeah, and depending on the situation, depends how they're gone. But I had something to say. Maybe I'm just wasting more video space. Oh yeah, as I was walking up today, I was thinking to myself, how the government on common law lands has to have the consent of the people before they can do anything. Now they fake it through, they'll pass legislation through, even bad legislation that doesn't represent the people, but they use that, they do a twisted legal loophole to make it look like it's for the public good, right? And we have so many bad laws on the books. Like, this fight isn't just about these masker people screaming at natural people. This isn't just about unlawful lockdowns over, an epidemic that's not a pandemic. The fight's not about using a PCR test that wasn't designed for the use that they're using it for to begin with, but then ramping up the cycles, above 40, 40, 30, 35. I believe it's 27 is where they're supposed to run it after they find the virus. So it's not about that fight, and it's not about communism versus or political left versus the mystical, magical, non-existent political right. It's funny how they call O'Toole and the conservative alt-right. Oh, what a joke. They're so far left, they would be like they'd be more like 1990s Liberal Party without the balls, like without the kahunas, without the intestinal fortitude. Now remember, this is all my free expression. If you don't wish to hear it, fuck off. But at least I couldn't stand. I did not agree with so many things Chrétien did. Lying to us, cheating us. He had this red book. Hey, back in the red book, he's going to get rid of GST. The GST was supposed to be on for 5 years to pay off the debt, like to pay it off. Okay? And as usual, these lying pieces of shit, they didn't do anything for anybody. They haven't. Our healthcare isn't better. Our armed forces, well, it's slightly better because of Mr. Harper. At least he got us building some goddamn ships. And then I heard we're using Chinese steel to build our ships in Halifax. What the fuck? We don't make our own steel? You telling me the Chinese can make better steel? Oh, it's cheaper, is it? Oh, because of energy costs. Ah. Yeah. So what I'm telling you is, because this is a common law of land, right? And what I believe is there is no... there is nothing. They have nothing. They have no right without the consent of the people. So as long as our Quebec cousins consent to these lockdowns, these curfews, and as long as you know, folks in general consent to going bankrupt, it's your own fucking fault. You know, and the fact that you know, a man with a couple of businesses loses both of his businesses, he's got a wife and 2 kids, and he goes and fucking hangs himself. You know, I get it, and I feel that despair. But are not Canadian boys? Did we lose the fact that sure you might take me, but you're gonna know who the fuck you were fighting on my way down? Is this what we have? Is this what we've grown? You know? Like, is everybody a safe space soya fucking tick growing fucking idiot that believes all the stupid bullshit? And all these stupid computer models telling you the end of the world's coming by like 15-year-old girls? Give your fucking head a shake. I'm just ranting. But my point to this was, it's the consent of the people here. This is a common law land. They can't do anything without your consent. Yeah, they can beat you up. Yeah, they can shoot you. Yeah, they can throw you in a cage. Yeah, they can shackle you like a slave. Absolutely. Because they have the guns. Everybody that's anti-gun is not anti-gang violence. These are shills that work for aliens. You know, they work for like aliens of Canada, aliens of who we are as a nation. You know, these are people who hate freedom. All the attacks, everything going on. Like, I didn't see anybody challenging or going to court to take on the Gov about this stupid cops can pull you over just because they believe something for no fucking reason. Cops can come into the hotel, give you and your old lady a breathalyzer on your anniversary because you drove there, even though you intended to take a cab home or intended to get a hotel room, or come into your house 2 to 3 hours after. You know, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. Did I miss anybody here? Fuck you. I love what Jeremy says. Fuck you, make me. And I think he's going to be doing some t-shirts, but I got some artwork of my own. I wish to do t-shirts and borrow that line. What's that old military saying? These guys are always going on about play stupid games and win stupid prizes. So anyways, your public servants, okay? Not your leaders, not the elite, not the class, not the slavers, not the slave owners. All right? There is none of that here. What we have here, we have public servants, and that every man and woman on this land is self-governing. That's what this common law land's about, self-governing. You never heard the fucking old phrase, govern yourself lest you be governed? Well, that has nothing to do with bending over and taking it up the yin-yang over bad legislation and bad laws. That has a lot to do with people standing up and saying, no, fuck you, make me, it's wrong. My rights do not derive from pieces of paper that little wrinkly old men fucking wrote across the pond, or some kind of stranger somewhere in a far-off land that calls himself Mr. or Mrs. UN. Now, that is binding on actors, state actors. I don't wish to be seen as a state actor. I waive the right or benefit to be seen as a state actor. As a man, I have the right to go from point A to point B in public. I have the right to use the public highways. I have the right to forage a living, to earn a living, to make a living, to make the needs of my family. I have a right to access the patrimony that government state actors hold in trust on my behalf. What are you talking about, Al? Every fucking royalty that comes off this property belongs to everybody that is of and from this property. There is no homeland just because I'm white after my family's been here for, over a century. There's no homeland for people, some of my French cousins and Acadian descendants that have been here for 300 and 400 years. This is, our mothers ate of this land and bore man of and from this land. And we are one with this land. And every time our trustees, these corporate actors, these corporate body politic corporate actors, fucking allow some corporation to take our natural resources and harvest them, whether it be oil or trees or fish, it doesn't matter. That belongs to the people of and from this land. And they collect royalties on our behalf. I wish to see a law. Which one of you fucking state actors is going to create a law that says you can't put the royalty money in the general revenue, the Canadian general revenue? That it has to go in a separate account and it's dedicated to schools and healthcare or something. Years and years ago, energy was which I believe it still is. They've just manipulated. Nobody calls them on it. But energy is everyone's right. It's not a fucking privilege. Now, it might be a privilege for lunatics, infants. That third person that I talk about. The citizen, the shitticen, citis. But it's every man, every woman, and every young one's right to access energy on this land. You can't tax energy. We agreed to tax fuel for the sake of building infrastructure by way of roads. And now everybody wants their hands in it. And that's not enough. Now we got to tax the air we exhale. But that's not enough. Now they wish, by your consent, to triple mask yourself so you suck in your own bacteria, right? Choke your fucking brain off with CO2. The fuck is wrong with you people? Give your head a shake. Get some fucking balls. Look, if you don't know how to hold court, learn. If you don't know how to prosecute a court, then be a defendant. And stand as a man. And ask them, who fucking well says? Well, you were charged with such and such. Who says? I say, who are you? Are you liable for the charges you wish to put upon I, your fellow man? Well, take the fucking stand. And testify under oath or affirmation. Get sworn in. And you tell me where I fucking did wrong, because everything else has to do with the infidel. That's what I call him. It's kind of like a cross between a lunatic and an infant. Everything else has to do with fucking infants. Shitticens. The corporate body politic state fucking creation. Are you that your creation? Or are you God's creation? Oh, you can't say God anymore. God forbid you say God. Without God, there is no free speech. It was white Christians of our modern times that found the biggest disdain of slavery and outlawed it and dumped it. Yet we got this poser acting as prime minister or something or another, prime minister of bankruptcy, prime minister of wannabe fucking child tyranny, the fucking child king. I don't know who the fuck he thinks he is. Giving $40 million to the slave traders in fucking Libya. Where's BLM? Hop a fucking plane and go down there and protest. You white fucking colored haired fat chicks. Fuck you, and fuck you. This is an offensive rat. Warning. Anyways, such a beautiful day. Oh, and the other thing I blew off a few guys I like to watch because, no, not that way. Fucking weirdo. But guess that crazy guy, he's just, what's his name? Portland Andy, right? So he's live streaming down at the Super Bowl. I could give a fuck about the Super Bowl and all their stupid politics. But you know what? He didn't go in to watch the game. He went to go hang with the people. It was so cool to see all those people having fun. All the little entrepreneurs, you know. Everybody's doing everything and nothing's going on. You know, I'm sure there was the odd fight and this and that. But there always is when you get 1 million people together, one spot. But I was so chilled just to see the happiness, the smiles on people's faces. Everybody socializing. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, I'm a recluse. I used to go to bike runs, but, back when they were smaller, like, fuck. It was 80, what year was it? I went to Sturgis. It was the year the National Guard surrounded the place and they refused to clean the porta potties and this and that. They were trying, even back then, the establishment was trying to start a riot to make it all look bad, to shut it down, and it didn't work. But, I think there was 100, was it 5? I can't remember how many people came through. But it was a fraction of what goes through now. And, I used to like our traditional bike runs where somebody would say, hey man, there's a pig roast going on. And, get some local bands together and, we'd either bury a pig in the ground, right? Cool. Or something. And it was just, a righteous party. And people would show up from all kinds of places, everywhere. I used to love these big organized ones. I did them a few. I organized a few. I was, it's just not my gig. And what the fuck is it? You ride 500 miles or 700 miles or 300 miles to go to a bike run so that you can do a poker run? Fuck. I always thought that was a little strange. But I used to, with the first year when Toad Rock out here was setting up Mary, I was a volunteer, and so was my brother and or brothers. And we got donations and wood from the mill and stuff so they could build the toilets and shit like that. But once it became a private adventure, like once it built up, it was no more, because we were doing it on behalf of AIM, to help AIM, and then other buddies were doing it on behalf of BC Com, which is a biker rights thing that doesn't really work that well. And, so yeah, we put a lot of work in. Good. The last day I would get drunk. I burnt, man, feet hurting, But, I'm done with the big runs. Fuck that shit. AIM is Association for Injured Motorcyclists, if you didn't know. But, I just wanted to rant this morning because fuck this shit. But I got some great artwork for a t-shirt. I'm going to see if I can mark it out there. Yeah, if I can. It's definitely Canadian, I'll tell you that much. But just remember, your public servants all act on the consent of you. So as long as you consent to their bullshit, their stupid bullshit, you're in. Now maybe, because 38% of folks in Canada work for government and haven't missed a paycheck, no matter what, maybe they don't have maybe they don't wish to be free. Maybe they wish to bend over and take it up the ass because it's in their benefit because they're being paid off. Selling their inheritance for a bowl of gruel or pottage, leftover stew. Is that what's going on? Well, great. Your kids and your grandkids are just going to love you. So, you maskers, you shouldn't be hacking on your neighbors because they wish to breathe, because they're natural, because it's their right to breathe. It's property. Breath is property. I was listening to that. One more thing before I go. I was listening to that store owner. It's kind of a health food meat place or whatever in Toronto that David Menzies was interviewing, and he was talking about, well, his dad built the building or whatever, but they don't own the land. You can't own land in Canada. Listen, there's a complete, you can't own land in most common law countries. Okay, I think there's a couple of states in the U.S. that you can still, or maybe one. But the idea is because people are of and from the land. You can't own land because then you're owning people, and slavery is outlawed in all its forms on this land. You can laugh all you fucking want. That's the way it is. Now, what you have to learn to do is wrap your head around what rights are, what property is. Okay? To me, private property is a fucking oxymoron. All property is private, unless it's public. So the word property in itself is private, unless it's public. Like all this stuff they call Crown land, there's no Mr. and Mrs. Crown. Okay? They manage the public's land on our behalf. They don't fucking own it. Okay? It's supposed to be managed in a responsible fucking manner. I have a right to go up there anytime I wish, and I have a right to go and forage. As long as it's public land, common ground. It's my fucking right. And if you don't have a fucking claim, then I do. And if I wish to pull a tree, make some firewood, build my fucking garage, build my my cold storage for my meat, that's up to me. It's not up to this mysterious fucking Mr. or Mrs. Crown that doesn't exist. And I'll be more than happy to fucking stand at court. And in a very polite and cordial manner, a very courteous manner, as my one buddy says, fuck you, and fuck you. Who says I do wrong? You got a claim on this tree? You got a claim on this rock? You got a claim on this mineral? You got a claim on this fucking fish? Because I need to eat. I need to stay warm. It's a necessity of my fucking life, asshole. And you are the hireling. You are the trustee. I am man. Anyways, with that thought, I got that out of my head. Maybe I've been locked up. Well, you know what? I think just watching all those Florida people for 2 days having so much fucking fun just kind of pissed me off more. But anyways, as good as I am, as bad as I am, as good as I am, as bad as I am. God bless y'all.